throw a horn in there. This is This Week in White Supremacy. Welcome. If this is your first time, thank you for joining us. If you are a repeated watcher, welcome back. If you are a hate watcher, we love you too. You know what I'm saying?
We got a lot of those, man.
Just set your Metamucil to the side. No.
Oh my God.
I'm good resist.
Not on day 30.
I'm sorry.
Not on day 30.
Anyway, what's going on? My name is Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And to my immediate right,
it's a miracle.
Hey.
Gang, gang. Yes, it's your girl, Miracle, aka Big Blessing with the Big Blessing. Mashallah, Miracle. It's day 30. About to turn up for Eid. I'm so excited.
Can you just move your mic a little bit closer? And Miracle is clearly the star.
Oh,
the A mic
of This Week in White Supremacy.
The A mic, man.
Going on the road with Miracle. She's a star.
That's what it seems like. It's just like Miracle and Co.
Yeah, Miracle and Co. Definitely.
I'm not mad at it because it takes the pressure off us.
Remember,
so it's just
we're at the Thunderbolt Cafe.
Yeah, man.
Somebody wrote up to us like, "Yo, I watched the show because of Miracle."
I'm a friend of Miracle.
Friend of Miracle.
Some Lebanese girl pulled up on me and she was like, "Yo, you Lebanese? Like, I know you from Miracle." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I'm like, "All right."
The star of Miracle was signing autographs all weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wise, but no, I love the hood. The hood love me back.
Come on, you already know the blessings. The blessings are deep.
The blessings.
My brother,
it's your boy Trouble on the Less, never like supremacy. Next level shaman, you know the deal.
Yep, and niggas love swimming.
Yes, niggas
you was
love
in the
swimming.
pool a lot.
Yes, I was. I met a lot of people
This
in the hot
brother was
tub.
shutting down the hot tub night after night.
Listen, relational organizing.
Come on, you already know. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. And my brother,
the supreme Asiatic, intelligently divine.
Yes.
Full-time supervillain, part-time hater.
Yeah.
The narcissist next door. The gorgeous gaslighter. The toxic one from Toronto. All of that.
Okay.
And speaking of toxicity,
yes.
And I just listed off some adjectives and virtues that I stand by. we would love to bring in, something that we found quite important
and fascinating
for the introduction of today.
Particularly because it's called Trump's virtues.
Yes, as he is a beacon of virtue, an orange beacon of virtue, like a lighthouse guiding us towards that. Like he's our moral compass. What does that say about America when Trump is the moral compass?
I mean, it says exactly what America stands for.
I thought it was the opposite, that he was not the moral compass.
He is not.
According to this video,
he is not.
I don't know. Let's play it.
I thought he had no values, no morals, no parents, no home training.
Wow. Well, he has a parent because his dad lent him $1 million.
That's a parent.
Yeah, that's a parent.
So Thomas D. Klingenstein.
Yeah, we don't care who he is. Just,
all right.
Just play the video.
DJ.
Drop the video.
Now that President Trump is the Republican nominee for president in 2024, it's time for Republicans, including those who doubt him or even can't stand him, to get behind him. The times demand it. We are in a war fighting an enemy of revolutionaries that kick and spit on America. I call our enemy the woke regime or the quota regime.
Could they be us?
This war is a contest between those who love America and those who hate it. But we do not have a commander-in-chief. You can't win a war without one.
Don't we? I mean,
we shouldn't much care whether our commander-in-chief is a real conservative.
Okay. Don't matter.
Whether he is a role model for children.
Don't have to be a role model.
Or says lots of silly things.
Which he does.
Or whether he is modest or dignified.
Definitely not that.
Modest and dignified.
What we should care about is whether he knows we are in a war, knows who the enemy is, and knows how to win. Trump does.
He has absolutely no experience commanding a military.
Well, I mean, he was the commander-in-chief for 4 years.
But that doesn't mean he was good at it.
Oh, no. He wasn't. Again, like, he's not a soldier.
No.
But again, I mean, here is something called Trump virtues that says it doesn't matter if he's a real conservative. it doesn't matter if he is a role model for children. It doesn't matter if he's modest or dignified. But these are Christians. That's what's so wild. These are Christians, right? That claim belief and love in Jesus, right? Who is supposed to be representative of all those things, right? Lover of children and modest and dignified. But it doesn't. But your leader, your president, is none of those things.
One thing I think is weird is it doesn't matter that Trump is modest or dignified, but it matters what color Obama's suit was.
Not only
it doesn't matter what color Obama's suit is, it matters what color Obama is.
Right.
Facts.
And it's like by merely being black and brown, we can't be modest or dignified in the eyes of these white supremacists. We're automatically savages, animals, right? You know, we're automatically the woke regime. We're the enemy. We're the enemy. We automatically are haters of America. When they say the group quota regime and the woke regime, they literally show a picture of President Obama. They show his picture.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that you're talking about Trump not being modest, not policing what he says, anything like that, not censoring what he says. But just prior to when all of the attention came to Trump for being an ass in the Oval Office, the thing was respect the office. Respect the office,
right.
Respect the position. If he doesn't respect the position,
right.
If he doesn't respect the office, why is it incumbent upon us to show respect to his antics? Why should we have to sit here and make excuses for it when he has actually, in the course of probably the last 40 to 50 years, been the president that has disrespected the office the most?
1,000%.
So why is it now that we have to accept this as a status quo? Isn't that counterproductive or counterintuitive to what that talking corpse was just saying in the video?
You're making sense, Farouk.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
And none of this is
I'll stop.
Like makes sense. Miracle?
You gotta let him make sense. Never mind.
Oh shit.
Why?
Now I gotta be good this week because he bought me cookies.
I bought you light skin cookies.
He bought me light skin Biscoff, stuffed vanilla Oreo cookies.
Oh, wow.
So I have to be like on my best behavior.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But
if you had a good joke, let that shit fly. I can take it.
No. So I was going to
I'm not J. Cole.
Oh, wow.
Now, you know what? Not to sidetrack us, I'm going to do
Wow.
it anyways. You know, somebody was saying that is like what's needed because like we have to
Some
be in
light skinned
the
nigga looking
spirit-
weak and beef.
But we have to get in the spirit of solving conflict and understanding.
it's rap
we
is a
have to
context sport.
change. And so shout out to J. Cole.
He
for
protected
being
his own
like,
spirit.
I don't want to be violent, but somebody was
You scared to go to church,
hold
nigga.
on. They were like, they saw Schoolboy Q throw it up the sets and crip walking and was like, let me rethink this.
Might not be able to go to LA anytime soon.
Like, this may not be a one, but like I love Schoolboy Q. Shout out to you. But what I
me
would
too.
say with Trump, it's funny how this person was basically like, this guy represents none of our values, none of what we need.
Yes.
But
Yes.
he is the person we need to attack other Americans.
Yes.
They didn't talk about securing the border.
Nope.
Increasing, our exports, building up our economy, strengthening whatever. They're like, we need to go to war on the coloreds.
Yes.
And I think that this is something that we've been talking about for a while.
Yeah.
Is that this Project 2025 plan,
Yeah.
this idea to take out gay people, queer people, black people,
Yes.
is very present.
Very
and
present.
it is all their messaging. And what we need is Biden and co and Democrats and co to be like, no, in our umbrella coalition, we believe it and we fight for all of these people and
Correct.
we're pushing back. And that's what I would like to see in response is someone with enough oomph
Yes.
and enough fight to be like, why
A
in the
Kendrick,
world?
so to speak.
A
Kendrick Lamar type person.
See if they really like that.
So it's going to be all right. But I think it's very interesting where we keep seeing that we are under threat.
Yes.
And we do not have a response to hear back and say, this is how I'm fighting for you. And this is how I'm protect you. We need
Right.
Uncle Joe, Superhero Joe. He needs something for a message. And this could be his message.
True.
But the people who are running his campaign really, again, just aren't hitting the mark right now.
True. And it is a thing of like, okay, so like how I'm supposed to, you're not even trying to get me to vote for Donald Trump, right? You're literally telling me I'm the enemy of Donald Trump. Like that Donald Trump, if he gets elected, is going to go to war on me, people that look like me, people that I care about, people that I love.
Maybe that is the narrative. Maybe that's the tactic.
It is, but it's wild because it's like, clearly it's like, it's not for me, right?
Right.
I'm conscious, I'm woke, right? So automatically now that I'm on the other side of a war, you know what I'm saying? In kind of like what Miracle said, in our own country. And instead of saying like, I want to be president for everyone, I want to lift everyone up. This is how politics used to be. It shows you where politics are, but to take it a step further, Trump actually and his allies, and we mentioned Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon, these white supremacists. I don't know why they're all named Steve, but hey, something about Steve, right? It's funny. Trump's campaign spokesman, Stephen Hugh. They're all named Steve, and they all hate black and brown people.
It's crazy how Steve left Blue's Clues and became problematic.
No.
All the Steve.
Like, no, we love Steve.
But basically, it said Trump's Justice Department would push to eliminate or upend programs in government and corporate America that are designed to counter racism that has favored whites, right? So here is Trump basically saying that he is going to build a Justice Department. You have something to say, Miracle? Come on, Miracle. You have something to say. What? What did you
said? Civil rights for whites.
Civil rights for whites.
That's crazy.
They already have civil rights.
Yes.
I mean, like,
They're already the standard, and it makes no sense because if you actually go into constitutional law and civil rights law, the comparison to sit there and say if you have been discriminated against is how white people are treated.
Yeah.
And so what is he going to argue for?
white genocide, I guess. I honestly don't know, and that's a great point.
It doesn't.
No,
make
it doesn't make
sense
any. Yeah,
because
right.
like you're gonna sit there and say like, oh, there is this program for black people.
Yeah,
and the counter is gonna be like, well, oh, there's 75 programs for white people. Like, so what are you going to say that counteracts that?
Their thing is like, for instance, they're saying like the Rooney Rule in the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
The NFL has a rule called the Rooney
against
Rule.
Whites.
Right. That was, Dan
but
Rooney.
like 55 whites get interviewed for every one black person.
Right. There's like 3 black coaches in the NFL.
And it doesn't mean that you have to hire them. It just means you have to interview them. But you know what,
Miracle? That's 3 black coaches too many, according to these white folks. And so, yeah, the idea,
to, what's his face? They give you the job before the interview.
Right. That's what the coach was suing the former. He actually the coach that was on the Steelers,
Brian Flores.
Flores was suing because he was interviewed, but they had already promised a job to a white coach.
And then
right?
Bill Belichick blew that up.
I still think Bill did that on purpose.
Right. But they're saying, Miracle, they're saying that just the idea that you have to interview a black coach is discriminatory against white people. Remember, they already sued to block a pandemic program that was to help women and minority-owned restaurants, saying those discriminated against white-owned businesses. So the fact that college enrollment is like 3 and 4% black doesn't matter to them. They want it to be 0.
It's crazy because it reminds me of that Chris Rock joke where he was like, if white people were losing, who the hell's winning?
1,000%.
It's like, if this is what you're in dire straits about, it's like, well, then our quality of life hasn't improved at all in the last 10 years, the last 20, last 30. Like
it says this is kind of wild. President Trump is committed to weeding out discriminatory programs and racist ideology across the federal government. This was the other racist, the third racist, Stephen. Racist number 3. But it also says, and I'm going to come to you, Miracle, it also says that he's gaining support. Trump is gaining support among black and Latino voters. So on one hand, he's saying, I'm going to have civil rights for whites.
He's targeting black and Latino voters.
But saying what, though?
That's saying that, he's coming after the men. Talking about as men, we got to be great as men. As men, we're going to do this. As men, whoop. But he's actually targeting these populations.
Yes.
And saying, like, I don't care about the race stuff. I don't care about that stuff. But I care about, like, your business. I care about, like, your communities. And this is what I'm going to do for you. And we keep saying, Biden, you have to have a counter messaging. Mm-hmm. You have to invest. We may not like it, but the Biden administration and we've talked about this, the way they treat their surrogates. I think Roland Martin have actually done a bunch of tweets about this.
I would love to get Roland Martin on the show.
About how they're not engaging, interviewing black media. They're not investing in the black infrastructure. Biden and they just drop money, unrestricted. Mm-hmm. That's why you have these MAGA rappers going on tours.
You mean Trump and co.
Trump and co.
Yes.
That's why you have the MAGA rappers going on tours.
Yes.
That's why you had, even here in Pennsylvania, there are like 4 or 5 different far right groups that are out here mobilizing voters. They just drop money, leave, and go. Whereas on our side, we give people $5,000 grants, $10,000 grants, and be like, turn out 50,000 people, do messaging, voter contact, and polling, right? And so Trump, and me and my friend were arguing about this the other day. Trump took Obama's playbook and adopted it for himself, where there was building up youth voters, building up election centers, building up a target list.
Yes.
Obama won, and the first thing that happened was his infrastructure was broken down after he won because people wanted Hillary to be the next president.
True.
Yeah. You know, Acorn, all of that that happened. One of the reasons why it happened was because Acorn was integral to Obama being elected.
Yes.
And so now Trump said, I'm going to do with that. I'm going to hit these doors. I'm going to be like white Obama and steal everything Obama did and win. And we're just over here like, huh.
It seems to me.
Interestingly enough, though, Miracle, Hillary actually spoke about the election recently. Did you want to play that Hillary Clinton clip?
Do this to me.
That
I feel like he'd be laying in bed and be like, I'm going to get Miracle on the podcast.
Miracle, you are the star of the show, okay?
You have to respond to everything.
He's trying to get my ops. He's trying to give them more content.
Please play that.
So when asked about Trump and Biden in this election, Hillary Clinton was on Jimmy Fallon and had this to say.
It's Biden versus Trump.
Yes,
we know that.
It is. It is.
What do you say to voters who are upset that those are the two choices?
Get over yourself. Those are the two choices.
Yeah, love that.
Right? And
good.
You know,
needed a little coercing, did you, Jimmy?
One is old and effective and compassionate, has a heart, and really cares about people. And one is old and has been charged with 91 felonies.
But also beat you.
Also Predator was one of the reasons why you lost the election. So maybe you should not be out here reminding people that someone has felonies. And this is the problem with Hillary Clinton and her lack of
She want to lock everybody up?
Like, man, you do not understand why people are upset. And I get it. People are like, we can't give the election to Trump over one issue.
Right.
This is not one issue. These are people's lives.
Many issues.
We have people talking about they are designing weapons to kill people. We have a military police contract that says once the war is done, all of those weapons go to our local police forces. Yeah. I have literally watched our local police and SWAT respond to calls. And I have literally watched these machines that are bigger than my whole entire body be used and weaponized and deployed in black neighborhoods. So when we're talking about what is going on, we don't need to get over ourselves. Yes. We really need to have a conversation about where our country is headed and how we're going to be able to build this multicultural coalition when half the people are going to be grieving the loss of loved ones either in a war or the gentrification or the housing crisis or the opioid crisis because y'all have refused to invest in the community. You have refused to build up a local infrastructure to support people, and you actually have refused to talk to people who've been impacted by your policies. And it boggles my mind that people like her get to go on these world tours and lecture and talk down to people who are fighting for their lives when people like her are the reasons why our fathers and grandfathers are locked up. Wow. It's the reason why our fathers and grandfathers were put over and had to have mental health issues because they were forced to go and be in these militaries that gave them Agent Orange, that gave them all of these diseases, and they came home and their minds are messed up. So I think Hillary should maybe get over herself.
Oh,
and
come
try
on,
to
Miracle.
Be a better person and a better human for whatever time she has left on this earth, because her and the people that
Not
she
Miracle with
runs
the
around
geriatric
with
jokes.
has been messing up our whole entire future. Like the way the water we have, the stuff that we can eat, all these things that she could have changed and she could have ran on, she refused to. And
Yes.
so I'm just kind of irritated
We
just by
see.
her cacophony that she just be like, get over yourself. We don't need to get over ourselves. We need to sit there and say that, like, war and violence and genocide and death and destruction cannot be our exports and the only thing we're fighting with.
Yes.
It just can't.
Wow. And this is why I asked you the question. So I had one more. You had a comment for Hillary?
I mean, it's not so much Hillary, but I think just like tactically, as we're looking at the campaign, like,
Yeah.
we're really getting down to the wire of the Biden versus Trump.
Yeah.
And bringing people out to the polls and everything Miracle has said. But it seems like almost Biden's strategy has been like just completely divested of black involvement. And it's like, you know,
He has, what's her name? Kamala. Kamala is the black.
exactly.
Yes, the vice president.
Driving us away from the vote. Like, both of them are doing everything they can to push black people away for the vote, but it's just like, it seems like they almost don't care, because it's like, who else are you going to vote for? I think that's Biden's strategy at this point. It's just like, you're either going to vote for me or Trump, and we know you're not going to go vote for Trump, so I'm not even going to waste any type of advertisement or any type of effort or dollar into marketing or like, you know, pushing my campaign towards black people when I can just do things like show up at cookouts, bring fried chicken, things like that.
But what's also wild is Hillary Clinton is 76 years old. It's like, hey, Biden, is there anyone under 70 that you can get?
But I mean, that's how they've designed the presidential hierarchy.
I'm just saying, it seems weird that like all of the people that you're getting are like super old, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's like, again, like, I know Hillary Clinton is, you know, has some popularity, not enough to beat Donald Trump and win the presidency, but
She couldn't do it before. She ain't doing it now.
right. And so it just is weird that, like, of all of the, you know, people that could go out to get your message, you go get the 76-year-old
right
to get your message, and not somebody younger or somebody more dynamic or somebody that can break down the things like you just broke down, Miracle.
And granted, you know, my father was someone who was involved in the criminal justice system.
Yes.
Justice impacted?
I am a justice impacted person
Yes.
because of Hillary Clinton's policies.
Oh, wow.
But when people are talking about this election and 2024 being the worst election on record, that they can nobody is like, even Donald Trump is not happy for this election. Like, nobody is excited to go and vote in November.
No.
Right.
Like, at all. There are no policies that people can vote for it. And the reason I'm saying that is no one has really, even Donald Trump, look, I'm going to put everybody in jail, right?
Right.
There is no legislation that any of us can read right now. Like, oh, I can't wait. Like, oh my God, like January 8th.
But haven't we moved away from that?
No,
I mean, because I said it to say, Miracle, Trump won. He was lock him up, build the wall. Like, it was all of these like platitudes.
And we got locked up and the wall fell down.
And the wall got built, you know.
Ironically,
Biden continued to build it. But so I think like it seems like it's more of a personality thing now and a cultural war. I said to say it, I'm gonna come to you before you finish. Because Trump ran ads specifically designed for black people. And it said a black man read the ad, and the ad, this is part of the ad, you know, it says, I'm going to try to read it like the black man. President Trump will protect our daughters' sports teams and stop the sexualization of our children. Trump will declare war on the cartels and stop the flow of drugs and crime into our communities. So again,
it says blacks for Trump.
What school sports do our black schools have when they're so underfunded that they're being shut?
Wow, you're right.
Like, you know what I'm talking about? This is what I'm talking about.
Protect
like,
our
the issues.
Shut up.
The issues are not there. And you just had Don Staley. Is that your surname?
Don Staley, yes.
Come out for like trans women in sports. So this is like about to be a dead issue.
And Don Staley, for those that doesn't know, is the coach of the South Carolina basketball team who just won the national championship.
Absolutely.
In the most watched sporting event since 2019.
Yes, everyone watches women's sports.
Yes.
But there, a lot of times, even locally, we're like, oh my God, I can't wait next month. I'm going to vote for this person. Marijuana legalization's coming.
Yes.
I can't wait like next month. You know, they're going to get rid of all these fees and fines. You know, there is nothing.
Is that everybody or is that just you? Is that you because
I'm saying like there's usually a policy.
Yes.
There's usually something that drives you to the polls, right? Whether it is abortion rights, whether it's immigration protection, there's usually something that a politician has promised. Right, that we're galvanized, you know, minimum wage or home repairs. There's usually something we're fighting for. Yeah. And this election is the first time it's just like platitudes. There's nothing. Like even Ice Cube, as much as his contract for America had no actual sense and no actual plans. At least it was a contract, right? At least it was like,
at least he put it in writing.
You know? And it's like, what are we mobilizing with? We can't even we can't even do.
Miracle said it's my show.
Student, you know what? First of all,
it is my show, sir. You hold on. I still got stuff to say.
ADHD. What's the
go, Miracle? Go. My bad. My bad. Go.
Get it back.
I'm the same way. Go, Miracle. Go.
Like I'm saying, like we were fighting for student loan forgiveness, and we got a student loan announcement that a student loan forgiveness announcement was in process and will be coming soon. Yes, these are the things we're like, bro, this is not working. You have to give people something. Yes, for the dreamers, we told the dreamers, okay, we're going to come with immigration reform. 5 years later, we don't have it. Yes. There's nothing, there's no policy right now that is galvanizing us to make us like, okay, there is something to fight for this future. And what I am saying is, genocide aside, I need Biden, if he wants to win and if he is the only thing that's standing in between Trump being elected and kicking me out of this country, to have something for people to mobilize for, because we keep forgetting we have not even begun to do outreach from our third-party candidates. The third-party candidates are not yet on the ballot and have not begun mobilizing. Right. And if Biden thinks Trump is the issue, what is he going to do when it's a Claudia comes and says everything that I want in the future?
If she's able to get on
Cornell comes and say everything I want in this, even this whole freedom, whatever. I don't, what happens when they start resonating with people? And so right now the Biden administration is laser focused on Trump. Yeah. And they are forgetting these third parties are about to hit this ballot.
And Cornel West would destroy Biden in the debate.
Well, the thing about the third party is
it's hard to get on the ballot.
No, when you think about the third party, the third party individual that is getting the most attention is RFK Jr.
And he's standing on business.
Do you have that song?
He's standing on. Yeah, we should have. I don't have it. I'm sorry.
I actually like this song, and it makes me so
standing
angry.
On community service.
And I blame you because
at least you deserve us.
You made us listen to it like 5 times. So dang, this is a good song.
And what's interesting, you got it. You pulling it up.
I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You don't have to believe the lies. You don't have to take sides. You can help me heal.
He should be walking down the middle of a street right now.
I'll be standing on business.
Standing on business.
Hey, yeah, boy. That boy Cash. Hey, yeah.
Community server. Where I'm standing on business. They truly don't deserve it. Got a ride with a purpose. That's why I'm standing on business.
All right, please.
Right?
Wow.
But I don't
know if we can top that. I don't know if we can top that one.
I don't know, man.
I think Trouble got something. In the pocket.
Bro, I'm not inspired by this election at all.
But I'm saying, Miracle, RFK Jr. is, and it's interesting, he's raised the most money. He nominated some tech person, a woman, as his vice president. But it seems that he is more in line with Donald Trump and his policies than Joe Biden. He suggested that Biden was a greater threat to democracy than Donald Trump. And he said that because his social media was removed when he was spreading a lot of false information and conspiracy about COVID. He then came out and raised the possibility that January 6th wasn't a quote unquote true election. You know what I'm saying? True insurrection is what he said. You know what I'm saying? So he was saying that he said, it's quite clear that many of the January 6th protesters broke the law in what may have been started as a protest but turned into a riot because it happened with the encouragement of President Trump. And in the context of his delusion that the election was stolen from him, many people see it not as a riot but as an insurrection. But he said, I have not examined the evidence. Oh, that was a question. I have not examined the evidence in detail, but reasonable people tell me there's little evidence of a true insurrection.
What?
Because they failed. That's why there's little evidence.
Yeah,
because they didn't get to hang Mike Pence.
Right, yeah. They didn't get to kill Nancy Pelosi.
They didn't let Trump get out the car.
Yes.
I think it's very funny that RFK I know his family is so mad.
Yes.
That he's becoming the most famous Kennedy right now.
Yes.
Because he does not.
Because he's the only one alive?
No, there's a few of them. But he does not stand for what the original Kennedys were known for.
Yeah, the whole family came out after that Super Bowl ad and was like, we disavow him, period.
Just an embarrassment.
Yes.
Because people forget the Kennedy.
There's always one.
There's always one.
Always.
I'm like the black sheep of my family, so it's kind of funny for that. But Kennedys became famous for fighting for black people, for fighting for civil rights and liberties. And that was their claim to fame. And here comes Kennedy now. It's basically if you want to die of COVID, die of COVID. If you don't believe in that medicine, oh well.
That's your right as an American.
And it's just sir, you could just tell people to be better.
Yes.
You over here telling them to kill people. He's worse than Biden on the Middle East. He's just not there.
But apparently he's a great producer of music.
And people, his whole thing was he could do push-ups and he's more fit.
Right.
Other presidents, but it's bro, come on.
So this just came out around Robert F. Kennedy. One of his consultants said that, quote, the Kennedy voter and the Trump voter, the enemy, our mutual enemy, is Biden. So here is basically Robert F. Kennedy's campaign is on record saying that their enemy is Joe Biden. And what a lot of Democrats see his campaign is as this possible group of people that are going to voters being taken away from Biden. And that with Kennedy in the election, it will lead to a Trump win. Is that something that folks should worry about?
Yes, and that's what we've been saying for months. The third parties are building. Third parties are winning. And this is one thing, as someone who is involved in this world, a year and a half ago, we said that the Democrats need to run on abortion and say abortion. Abortion, universal.
Yes.
People want abortion rights.
Yes.
There was this white firm that said saying abortion is divisive. You should not say abortion. Don't say abortion, and told all the politicians not to say abortion. This one white woman in Ohio got on record, and not only did she say abortion, she was pushing back against Moms of Liberty and defending queer people and rejecting being a groomer. Because of her, all of the messaging that the Democratic Party had planned was scrapped, and all of a sudden you heard them saying abortion,
right?
You heard them saying transgender, and you heard them saying gay.
It's almost like they don't know what that to do until someone shows them.
And then they won across the board, up and down, in the South, in the Midwest. Everyone said it, right? And they were like, oh, now these same companies again are like, don't say abortion, don't say transgender, don't say gay. And you've noticed,
right?
Those words are not showing up in the ads. They're not showing up, even in the time when abortion is the number one driver of electoral turnout, to the fact that, shout out to Mondale, who's talking about black men actually in Ohio voted at a higher rate to defend abortion than they did to legalize cannabis. This was the issue, that people understood so much reproductive justice, but the Democrats aren't saying anything because they're listening to people who are not embedded in community. True. And what we have been saying is these third parties have been embedded. They are going door to door. They are canvassing, doing issue calls, meeting with people. And we keep saying Biden has to do the same thing. He's doing what Hillary did, is assuming he got it in the bag. He's assuming he's running against Trump. And it's like, I'm going to just do this thing. And we're like, no, people are hurting. People need to hear from you. People need to see you. He's been shutting, and granted, it's my community that he's been like a part afraid of. Yes. He's been shutting down his endorsement meetings. He's been shutting down his campaign meetings because he doesn't want to answer for what's happening in Gaza. Yes. But you can't do that. You have to go to where the people are. You have to talk to the people who are hurting. You have to talk to the people who are in pain. And you have to show up again and again and again and again. And if not, I don't think it's going to be, the biggest issue is going to be Trump winning. I think the biggest issue is going to be Trump winning and these down ballot races of conservatives also winning, because people forget that it's the down ballot races that matter the most. Yeah. And if Trump wins, but we have a whole Democratic Senate and a whole Democrat Congress, we can do something different. Absolutely. But if Biden does not get out here and the DNC does not change, all the strides we made in 2020 and 2022, we're going to lose because he doesn't want to say the words that people need to hear.
What's fascinating also is, guess how old Robert Kennedy Jr. is? He's 70. I mean, it's just wow. You got to be 70 and up to run, but we have a dark horse candidate that could possibly come into this race and shake it up even more. Do you have that video, Farouk?
I was trying to think of a joke.
Please don't.
And there's not one, because it's just
the whole thing is
the absurdity of it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Play that video, Farouk.
Vladimir Putin were running against Joe Biden for president, who would you vote?
I just want to pause that real fast. I want the viewers and the audience to just think about this. Miracle, sometimes I'd be remiss and I'd be forgetting. Where do we live? What country do we live in, Miracle?
I was like, America, F yeah.
America, fuck yeah. But I want everybody to listen to this, and this jaded lady wearing a Tucker Carlson shirt that says "Stop Liberals" something.
How ironic, because he just came back from Russia.
Right, exactly. Just listen to this.
If Vladimir Putin were running against Joe Biden for president, who would you vote for?
For our country?
No, Russia.
That's a hard question. Probably Putin.
It is?
Yeah, I don't think Putin's as bad as people want to.
You would vote for Vladimir Putin?
I would. Over Biden? Hell yeah.
You would vote for Vladimir Putin for president of the United States?
Putin wants to go back to good morality.
What? Go back?
He doesn't allow.
He doesn't allow these, but that's the whole thing where Trump was talking about sexualization and women's sports. And again, they're not voting for policy points, Miracle. They're not voting for policies. They're not voting for, what their local thing is. They're looking and saying that to them, Biden represents gay people, transgenders in sports. He represents, people crossing the border, black woke policies.
Represents white people. That's why they want to go to Russia, because they had this video like Russia's like 90%.
And please go. We're begging you.
That is why people say they want to go for Putin. Yeah. And let's go back to morality. Like, I just don't understand. And maybe I'm like a unicorn, but I talk to my grandparents. I talk to my elderly neighbors. Yes. Y'all were getting it down in the 70s.
1,000%.
Y'all were doing some stuff in the 50s.
Yes.
You can go back and what are you talking about? Go back.
What are you talking about?
Like, I watch sometimes these 70s sitcoms and I'm like, oh.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Okay.
Y'all were using all the drugs.
I'm about to say that's why they don't remember
all the drugs.
They did all the LSD and everything that was available at that time, and they were just like they have no recollection of how.
They didn't want to watch our show and get mad because we laughing,
right? You know what I mean?
What do y'all want to go back to? Because Papa was a Rolling Stone. He had 4 and 5 families.
I'm your pusher man, Curtis Mayfield.
I'm confused. So I never got that. Number one. Number two, this idea that like you want to vote for Putin.
Yeah.
But we're the ones who are a threat to America. You want to vote for Putin, but we're the ones who are enemy of America. You would rather vote for a foreign dignitary who allegedly interfered in the election. Who allegedly kills people, who allegedly harms folks.
Who invaded Ukraine.
You know, all these things. Not allegedly invaded Ukraine, but I'm saying. Like,
I'm about to say. Pretty sure that happened. And it's still happening.
Right?
True indeed.
It just boggles my mind that these white people can literally advocate for treason. And be seen as patriots. But
1,000%.
Here we are being like, I'm critiquing America because I know it could do better. And
where is the energy?
You're the woke agenda, Miracle, and we're going to commit war on you.
But where is the energy? If you don't like it, leave it. Like you're literally saying you would
hey, you want a country ran by Putin? Go
Russia. There is one.
It's called Russia.
Yeah, it's like literally the former Soviet Union. You want to go there and you want to enjoy the USSR and everything that they have to offer in the Kremlin and the polar bears in St. Petersburg and the cars that don't work, the houses that can't function because they don't have proper electronics.
And they're in the midst of a real war.
And not only that, you're talking about a society that has been virtually bankrupt. Their money, their currency is worthless. Russia has been in shambles since the fall of the Soviet Union. Have you not paid attention to civics in the last 30 years? Clearly. Like you're talking about something like you're romanticizing a dystopian environment that literally is 30 years behind most of the other developed nations in the world.
While being covered in American flags. Like you're covering yourself in American flags.
The irony of this is disgusting.
I think it also goes to show.
It's crazy.
How none of these countries are thriving because their exports, again, are death and destruction. And for a lot of us, we're saying that none of these regimes are our friends. We don't support any regime that's killing its people, whether Russia, whether Syria, whether Israel, or the U.S. We don't want anybody dying. And instead, we want people to invest in their communities. Imagine the world we could have. The high-speed rail. Imagine we could probably teleport by now. It's like people were not so invested in building nuclear bombs and weapons that could kill people. We could really have a thriving global world where we could all have all of our needs met, and we probably wouldn't even know famine. We wouldn't know homelessness. We wouldn't know hunger. And this is all I'm saying.
But see, and I love what you're saying. However, I do think we should start a GoFundMe, Miracle, for white supremacists that want to move to Russia. Like,
reparations for white people.
I want to raise money to send these white people to Russia and never have them come back. Ironically, at the same time, you know, Donald Trump was at a fundraiser and said he wants immigrants from, quote, nice countries.
Oh, I wonder what those are.
Nice countries. Well, I mean, he labeled them. He read the list. Hold on, let me see. What are the nice countries?
He said Denmark,
Switzerland,
all the homogeneously white countries, all the Scandinavian.
He said, how about Norway?
Yeah, all of Scandinavia. Okay, so you want the
Why
Vikings.
would Norway leave paid leave?
Right,
yes.
Sick leave.
They got everything figured out.
Yes.
They even have a great rehabilitation structure for prison.
Yes.
Like, why would anyone?
No reason.
From the Scandinavian countries.
But when he says nice countries, he really means white countries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, clearly the ones he's named have all been homogenous, blonde hair, blue eyes.
But those countries are part of the reason that they're that way, right? Where they have the ability to be self-sustaining. It's because we haven't bombed those countries, right? But it's the black and the brown countries that we're bombing. robbing, building military bases there, denying them resources, privatizing their resources, taking over their resources. So those are the countries that are looking for a better place to live, because those are the countries that we constantly decimate with the United States foreign policy. So how about this? I bet you if you start bombing Norway and Switzerland and all of them the way you bomb black and brown countries,
they'll turn into shithole countries real fast.
They be over here right away. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about Haiti and Central America and Africa, you're talking about countries and regions in this world that America's foreign policy directly, purposefully bankrupt. And then you're going to get mad when people show up because this is the greatest country in the world and we have the greatest economy in the world.
It's almost like if I were to smack you in the face and be like, damn, Jasiri, why are you being so mean?
Why are you being so mean, right?
Yeah, we
when
can't have
when I show up at your house, you're like, why are you here?
You know what I'm saying?
Why did you come to my house? Because you beat me up.
You said, come outside. I want to talk a little bit.
Yes, exactly. You have a comment on nice countries, Miracle, or Farouk? Farouk, did you come from a nice country? I mean, you did kind of, right?
Yeah,
Canada.
Yeah, they call it the Great White North.
Why'd you say?
Yeah, I had
You was
a
thinking some wild shit.
I must have missed the joke.
I missed the joke too. Miracle's not saying jokes today.
No, I
Stop giving cookies to Miracle.
Yeah.
No, give me all the cookies.
We need mean Miracle.
I was referring. I thought you were referring to his mother's home country.
Wow.
My mom's country sounded like this. That's what my mom left.
Because of American foreign policy.
Actually, yes.
1,000%.
Yes, 1,000%. No, but I had a civics teacher when I was in high school. I think it was year 12, who would always make a joke and say Canada is what happened when democracy goes right. And yeah, I mean, I think Trump's stance is just so interesting that he would just be there to say this as America, as he's saying we have to get America back to being great again.
Right.
Like, okay, so is it great in comparison to what? These shithole countries? Because right now you have areas, specifically in Appalachia and in the Bible Belt, that are way more fucked up than some of the shithole countries than you named. So, what are we talking about, bruv?
Yeah.
And my friend likes to, Dr. Brooke, she likes to call that the corporate extraction of resources that has basically stole all of the material wealth from Appalachia, and has basically rendered it a situation where now people are fighting for survival. And that's one of the reasons why we have to look at the corporate response and the corporate buyout of politicians.
Absolutely.
And that it's all connected. All these I'm not going to go to rant again.
No, get a Miracle. They're watching for your rents, Miracle.
But these corporations that want to make millions and billions of dollars off of weapons, they have to steal those resources from somebody. There's people that don't believe in our future, they have to steal it from somebody. So whether it's the people in Appalachia, the indigenous people on reservations who are getting poisoned, the black people who are forced to work in these factories in order to make a living wage to support their families, it's all connected. And I'm just saying we should just have a better world, and a better world is possible, and we could do so much.
Interestingly enough, maybe the eclipse, right? Miracle, maybe
a reset.
The eclipse, the black moon coming over the white sun.
Duck down. Black moon. Buckshot shorty.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and we haven't done like black excellence in a long time, and we do want to. We talked about
eclipse black excellence.
The eclipse probably would be black excellence. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's funny because it always brings up like Donald Trump like looking directly into it, like you know what I'm saying, with no glasses, with just
it was.
Who knows?
You know what?
Who knows?
I'm going to say it was. I had to like really talk myself up out of not looking at the sun. And I was like, don't do it, Miracle. Don't do it. And
intrusive thoughts were.
They're like, just look. And I was like, don't do it. And when I walked on my porch, the sun was right there. Remember how they said it was going to be all cloudy and stuff?
Yes.
Like
it was not cloudy in Pittsburgh.
Right there. And I was like, don't look up.
Man.
And it reminded me of the lady who turned to salt in the Bible. And I was like, I understand that.
Noah's wife?
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, I get it now.
Niggas lost sight?
Wow.
Like, don't look up. Oh my. And then that made me think of the movie. I didn't watch the movie because it looked a little bit weird. word.
It was funny.
But I was just like,
it was a good movie.
Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the weakest.
It's wild because if you watch the movie Don't Look Up, it's like coming true right now. Just the lunacy of the political piece we in. But we do want to give our Black Excellent to the South Carolina women's basketball team, who was Black Excellent. You know what I'm saying? And in winning their third national championship, I think in the last 4 or 5 years. Shout out to Don Staley. Shout out to them. And we want to give it up to them because apparently CNN did not want to give it up to them because when CNN posted the South Carolina championship, they felt the need to mention Caitlin Clark, who lost, and they showed a picture of Caitlin Clark and the Iowa team, even though the article was about South Carolina's women's basketball team winning. Is this just another example of did they get the Eclipse wrong? They got it backwards?
Yeah, and it's wild to me. Like, you know, I thought this is sports. I thought it was about competition, victory, and winning.
Right.
Like, we have to champion the champions, right? So I don't know why the loser gets mentioned at all. And this is no disrespect to Caitlin Clark, who's going to go on to do amazing things.
Yes.
She's going to be, you know, one of the greatest athletes in our lifetime, if she's not already. But, I mean, this isn't her moment in the sun right now.
No,
your team
absolutely
lost.
not.
So,
team lost, yeah.
you know, and Miracle had said before we went on the air that, like, you know, last year, both teams were invited to the White House by Jill Biden,
right?
That was First Lady,
right? Jill Biden wanted to have both teams,
the winner and the loser. But it's like that's not historically how things are done.
Correct.
The winning team gets to win, and because it's Dawn Staley, a Black woman who is also a phenomenal basketball player,
and from Philadelphia,
and from Philly, yeah,
Pennsylvania's own.
Dawn Staley, you know, lodge up, and she coached a winning team. She should have all of the accolades, and every article should be written about her. Every accolade, everything that the press is talking about should be how Dawn Staley coached an amazing season with an amazing team.
And shout out to the, you know, people on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. They did bully CNN into changing that picture from Iowa's team and Caitlin Clark into the actual winning team, and the team should won. You had a comment on this, Miracle?
Yeah, I feel like have we ever just platformed the losers? And the reason I say that
Miracle,
is,
there's a guy named Donald Trump who claims to have won.
I mean, yeah, really.
There is so much that goes around. People talk about participation trophies and this whole like far right belief that, you know, we gotta support the alphas and we give too much to the betas or whatever. And I just thought it was funny that for 2 years in a row, Caitlin has lost, but she has been centered in the story and the narrative. And I remember, like, you know, I like football. And I know that when people play football and when they lose, they don't get spotlight.
Right.
People are like, oh, it was a great game. It was a tough game. All the interviews are on the people who won. All of the sideline interviews are on the people who won. Like, I can't even tell you 3 players on the South Carolina team, right? From just watching the coverage. It was all about the people who lost. And even Dawn, when she did her speech, she was gracious and talked about Caitlin and all this other type of stuff. And it was, to me, it's been like interesting to watch someone who peripherally will watch like sports radio and sports talk radio, and how people always complain about sports is getting too weak, is being watered down. People can't hit anymore. You know, we used to be a proper sports team and a proper sports whatever, but here we are.
You are on fire right now. I want you to know that.
Oh, thank you. But like here we are, like giving all of this time to someone who didn't win, who couldn't pull it through, who wasn't tough enough. You know, and that is just, to me, it's like,
and I could hear the argument, the counter to that argument would be like, well, she's only one player. She didn't play against the entire team. This is team sport. That would be the argument.
Well, when Giselle said that about her then husband, what's
Tom
the guy?
Brady.
Tom Brady. Y'all said she was being the B word. So I'm just very confused.
Yeah.
She was like, he can't catch the ball too.
Yeah.
She looked so pretty when she said that. I was like, oh, Giselle. But no, I just think it's really funny because like I'm someone who gets accused of like weakening people and weakening men and giving everybody their flowers and not living in the real world. So I just think it's really funny when I see the same people who've been like, winners win. If it's not first, you're last.
Absolutely.
And then they're like, oh, we gotta protect Caitlyn. We gotta support her.
Right.
And what was that? The man who came for Angel Reese was talking about
the dirty debutantes.
All type
he called
of stuff.
LSU the dirty debutantes, and he called UCLA's team, who was not a predominantly black team, like they were good, and LSU was evil.
So we're seeing like all of this play out, and I just think it's very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Like as someone who's not, I can't tell you any stats.
Right.
I can't break down any past 3 seasons.
Absolutely.
I just okay, this is on. Let me look at it right quick or whatever. That's what my take is on the sport.
It was fascinating, and it was interesting. I think it is those racial dynamics. South Carolina, who has almost an all-black team, against Iowa. And so I think in people's minds, psychologically, it's like the white team is automatically the underdogs. And of course, South Carolina was undefeated this year, but South Carolina's last loss was to Iowa the year before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was, again, and it was a watch game. And shout out to, Dawn State. Caitlin Clark did well, and maybe she goes to the Big Three. Apparently Ice Cube in the Big Three offered her $5 million to play in the Big Three. She's going to be the number 1 draft pick in the WNBA. It'll be interesting to see if, similarly to like,
they're not organizations that compete. She could still play in the Big Three.
So like on the off season type thing?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It'd be like an exhibition league.
And because of, just to put it in context, because of how low the pay is in the WNBA, a lot of the top WNBA players also play overseas. Of course, most famously was Brittany Griner, which is why she was, held up in Russia for all that time. It was because she had to play overseas because of the low pay of the WNBA. So it will be interesting if this is like remember when Larry Bird came into the NBA and, him and Magic Johnson were able to kind of like bring the NBA up to like the popularity is now. Will, Angel and Caitlyn, you know what I'm saying, like be able to do the same thing or similar things to like raise up or bring up the WNBA. And it will be interesting to see if Caitlyn does accept this $5 million to play in the Big Three, which, she, could maybe do that.
I don't are they ranked like 1 and 2?
Most people believe that they're going to be the first 2 women chosen in the WNBA, and
so there's no way that they could be on the same team.
Correct. No. I mean, they played together. They played together on the United States basketball team, and that was the conversation. They were like, "We like each other. We don't hate one another. We're not." But it was played out like that. It was made to seem like Angel was the bad guy and Caitlyn was and it was really Caitlyn versus that other little white girl.
Yeah.
Damn, I still.
Yeah.
She cooked that little white girl. Well, first of all, I mean, we did come back from Tulsa. I had a great time in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shout out to the white privilege conscious, but really, we were kind of in the streets. We were in the Tulsa streets.
We absolutely were.
You know
and Launch Up Email for coordinating a lot of that.
We're going to have a conversation in the future about what we talk about on the podcast and what we don't. Because I like to be like what we do when we travel. And like it gets shown like in a recap video.
What you do in the streets is for the streets.
We get shown like it's a surprise.
Okay. But we did, because we do have a surprise interview. Should we say the interview?
No.
Okay. So we did do some really cool interviews down there. We have a really dope interview coming. That Miracle. It will be a surprise. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So we'll have some of that. We got some other dope interviews. And we'll be interviewing Black Thought. If you have not got your ticket, you should get your ticket right now, because this Sunday at 3:00, we will be interviewing Black Thought about all that's happening in hip hop. And it's been a wild week in rap music. You know what I'm saying? And so who better to talk to than a master rapper and hip hop artist in Black Thought? But we have our white pages today. Our white pages is Black as F History, an unwashed story of America. Oh, I'm sorry. America is behaving very unwashed right now.
Very much so.
Absolutely.
It's not unwashed behavior. An unwhitewashed story of America. This is Michael Harriot. And so shout out to Michael Harriot and Black SF History. That's our white pages today. If you want to get into some more, understanding about race and white supremacy. We don't have a black male, so, I don't
We
know.
had a
have like
voicemail.
3 of them.
Did we scare people away?
We had a voicemail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that same guy who
Oh,
blew
well,
up.
we need to come on, man. We need to bring that to the forefront.
It was he just cut himself off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering.
he's not going to watch us no more.
I was wondering if we were
Apparently
being.
he's still watching. I don't know why, but whatever.
I was fearful that we were being too mean. and too mean to our mail segments. But if you want to write us, if you have questions, comments, you can write info@onehood.org. That's the number 1, not O-N-E. That's info@onehood.org.
We will react live on the air.
Absolutely.
I kind of want to know what nursing home that we were playing in, because I still want to go there and record.
You want to go there?
I want to go there and record live.
We want to push all of the backgammon chips aside and
I think
knock over the bridge table
and the gin rummy and just set our mics up right there.
Yeah, I think it'd be like an interesting conversation.
Get this Jello up out of here.
Yeah. And then you said you made steak, nigga. That was banquet Salisbury steak. No one got that?
Oh, no.
Stop.
I'm lost. I'm lost.
Never mind.
I'm lost.
You're not on TikTok enough.
But also shout out to Soppers and Bangers, the union, for allowing us to partner. We've been telling people about the upcoming election on April 23rd.
Yes.
Yesterday, we were able to register some voters.
Yes.
Our
Shout out to Be Social.
Shout out to Be Social. Our registration, is passed here in Pennsylvania. So I know that people. I even questioned myself if I could do it, but we pulled through.
Yes.
We've been doing really good civic engagement work.
We did.
We've been trying to get people excited about this upcoming election in really, fun ways. And so, I'm proud of us. I'm more proud of myself. Also, it's the last day of Ramadan.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Eid Mubarak to everybody that's going to be viewing this later in the week.
Absolutely.
And so I'm really proud of us. We made it through.
Yeah.
We kept most of our days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't cut. I didn't cuss nobody out. Did I cuss anybody out? I didn't cuss anybody out.
I don't know.
I don't think I cussed anybody. I think I met my goals.
You met your goals, and that's really cool. And hopefully, we come out better and more productive. And also, you can support us at One Hood and the work that we're doing that Miracle just mentioned. If you go to onehood.org, you can donate, or you can get some cool merchandise. You know what I'm saying? We're going to drop the merchandise like Miracle has shortly. So continue to support us. We appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all next week. This has been This Week in White Supremacy. Peace. One Hood, y'all.